So we're going to try it again. Okay. So fuel is trickling in there. It's just not enough to keep it going, is my theory. It's always a fuel problem. Around here anyway. We got 10% ethanol in our fuel, and causes all kinds of issues. So first thing I'm going to do is give this thing, we know it's got spark, we know it's got compression because it runs. It's got a full tank of gas. It smells like garbage. It smells like, I don't know, like it's part gas, part nothing. It's definitely not good. This is a newer, this thing is a piece of garbage. Look at it, you could, I've never seen that like this. You could squish the cap in your hand. God, we are going down like a snowball headed for hell. Quality is gone. It just doesn't exist anymore. But what are you gonna do? 21st century for you. And air filter. It's not looking. I could use a replacement probably. But I'm not sure if I have these. That's an odd shape. It's more rectangular than square. It does look like a lot of crap in there. Got past it though. So I'm going to clean all that out. Probably going to end up dumping this fuel into something that'll handle it, like a fuel injected vehicle. An older fuel injected vehicle that has a return in the fuel system. These newer vehicles are computer controlled fuel pumps, so there's no return line going to the tank. So if you dump some stale crap in there, it doesn't mix it all up like with the older cars. That's something to keep in mind. If you dump water in a modern vehicle, it's going to sit there and give you problems for a long time, versus if you put it in an older car, it'll probably run a little bit better and mix that stuff up so it's not all at the bottom, you know. Anyways, back to what the hell we were doing. This is a Toro. Guaranteed to start. Well, you failed on that one, pal. Looks like a typical Lowe's unit to me. 2011, huh? Yeah, I guess that's modern in my eyes. So now I've got everything I think I'll need to do this job here. The newer the mower, the more of a mystery the engineering is on it. It's just, I don't know why they do the things they do now. I don't think they want any of us working on anything anymore. Automotive world is the same exact way. So this is metric. There's a spacer behind there. That's a little surprise. It looks like, I don't know what this hose is right here, but it's got a little pinhole down here for it. This is a breather, crankcase breather. This right here, I'm not quite certain. Goes somewhere up there. We're gonna find out, because we're probably gonna pull all this off just to remove this gas tank. Anything built in the 21st century, that's par for the course. You dismantle the whole machine just to take one piece off. That's interesting. The little dowel stuck on top of the gasket. I think it should have went around the gasket like that. But we'll cross that bridge. Looks like this has been off before. See some damage from that same dowel. And if there's one dowel, there should be two. Oh yeah, here's the other one. So this should be in here. It's very loose, so I'm going to leave that out, because when I start cleaning this with compressed air, this is going to disappear. Yeah, there's a lot of crap back there. Okay, so we got the fuel line coming back here. No, that's not a fuel line. That is a choke. Some automatic choke. Another thing I hate about modern mowers. Everything's friggin' automatic. What do we got here? This is the choke too. Wait a minute. Oh, this is, what do we have? We have a vacuum and then we got something going to the, oh, okay, so the exhaust, when the exhaust heats up, it overrides it, opens it. That's the ticket. This thing here, apparently, when there's no engine vacuum, holds the choke closed, whether the engine's hot or not, I believe. That's my theory. Yeah, and this thing's moved, so somebody's been poking in here. Somebody been in here before me. There we go. So that just cuts the fuel off. Pain in the nuts. Carbs used to be so easy to get apart. Now, you know, you throw all this friggin' crap on here. Now it turns into a crap show. First, I'm gonna pop this governor off. I need a pair of needle nose for that. Okay. Just slide off. Oop. I'm trying to find a quick and easy way of doing this. Modern mowers. There you go. Okay, so it's just splined on there. Now we can get this off. This is part of the reason why some of you might not know, but I quit doing this. I have a full-time job elsewhere now. I'm just doing this. I'm on vacation from that job this week, Memorial Day week. Let's not forget why we observe Memorial Day. Being on vacation, I got time to take care of some of my longtime customers. So, blow this off, get you on the bench, if we have a bench. Bench has been packed with crap. We got no room for nothing. Actually, before we do that, why don't we just, since I got the camera set up here. No, maybe not. That's a shocker. Usually you gotta dismantle the whole machine. It looks like a vent. I'm seeing a hose coming in at the filler neck up here. How that works, I'm not 100% sure. If you fill this thing to the brim, oh, that's weird. Weird washer right here. It's got like a, can't tell if that's plastic. Feels plastic. Plastic cap that the washer sits into. A little different. But anyway, yeah, that vent, I'm not 100% sure what the hell that does. Must be some type of primitive evap system, I guess. Sucking the fumes off the top. So that tells me if you were to fill this thing to the brim, it's going to suck fuel through that little pinhole there, because that's a low pressure area inside that air filter housing. Oh, nothing's ever simple. I should have known. If it's built in the 21st century, you can be sure it's not going to come apart easily without taking half the machine off. This is the dumbest fuel cap I have ever seen in my life. God, you couldn't have made a worse freaking cap. I just have to pull on it, maybe. Feels like something's holding it. I want to take this thing apart and find out. Oh yeah, here we are. Hidden fastener. Look and don't force. Going by feel, I can't see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this is, it's peeing everywhere because the cap sucks. This thing is a piece of garbage. My Lord. My God. There's nothing built good anymore. Alright, so how are we going to do this now? Got ourselves a predicament here. Unless I can somehow get this hose out through here. This is pretty stupid. What isn't? I guess I could squeeze that and try to feed it through. If I figure out which way is what. It's just a big peg they designed it to not come apart ever. Ah, piece of garbage. Man, this thing is a piece of crap. There you go. Okay, we got it. We got it. Recon. I don't know what that is. Alright, so what we're going to have to do here, I'm going to have to put my finger over this. I'm going to have to reposition this one-handed. Put it over here and spill some more fuel everywhere. Okay. Jeez Louise. Are you kidding me? I've never seen a dumber design. Look at it, it doesn't even, it flexes as you turn it. Ridiculous. So I'm gonna go dump this in the plow truck. So when I dump fuel and, stale fuel into another vehicle, I use these coffee filters that I clean beforehand. I use 3 of them because I got them out of the trash when I was working in the trash industry many, many moons ago, and they might have holes in them. But this is the type of stuff, I don't know what you can see here. Let me get my flashlight. But this is the type of stuff that you see coming out of lawn equipment, fuel tanks, see that big friggin' piece of grass right there. And all these little pieces, little tiny pieces all jammed in there. That's why it's always a good practice. Even if the fuel smells kind of good, like it'll probably burn. Like that fuel probably would have burned. It's not the best fuel, but it probably would have worked. But this is the reason why I like dumping the tank, I like to do carb cleans once, and only once. Try to cut corners on this sort of thing. It usually comes back to bite you in the ass. You younger generation really ought to start shaming these companies that are out today making parts like this anytime you see it, because it's only going to get worse. It's never going to change until we start making a stink about it. And I rant and rave on this channel about this all the time. I mean, you pay a lot of money for these mowers. That wasn't a friggin' $60 mower from 1970 that would last you 30 years. This is a friggin' 2011, probably cost $700 for that piece of garbage. And you got a fuel cap like this that you can squeeze in your hands, leaks gas everywhere. It's just a piece of crap, it's disheartening, watching the whole country go down the toilet. It's quality, social issues. I mean, everything's going down the friggin' toilet. Somebody's got to put their foot down, and all of us have to put our foots down and stop this crap. That's the bottom line. I usually use a brake clean on the jets, and I'll use a Sure Shot full of acetone to spray the heavy crap off the outside. I'll actually do that right now. So I don't have a tool bench, so I just laid this across my toolbox drawer. Oh my lord, who the hell put this on? This is less than ideal working conditions here. Yeah, so some of you guys might be wondering why I don't do this anymore. It's just I'm burned out, man. I've been doing this my whole life. Oh yeah, look at this. This is why it's not running. I don't know if you guys can see the little beads. It's kind of hard to, camera might not be picking that up. That's all water right there. Yeah, that's 100, almost 100% water. And that's why the machine isn't running right there. So that's ethanol. Ethanol loves water. So I'm trying to keep you in frame here. It's kind of hard. It's gotten a little rusty on this filming business. I got to keep you at a distance here. Oh, I just lost that. Now the mark's gonna wear off. That would figure. All right, look at the Jello in there. That's why I won't run. So why would someone take the carb off and not clean it? That's what I don't understand. I don't know. Yeah, look at that. A little bit of Jello. Petroleum Jello. Vaseline. I don't know if I guess I can film this. I'm going to turn the camera. I wasn't going to film it because I got a few other videos that I've done this a million times, but I guess it just, if you happen to click on this video, I guess it just makes it easier for you to watch this one video and see how I clean carburetors. I guess you can't do it too many times. You need a wire brush. That's what ethanol does, just mixes with water and makes a super corrosive mixture that destroys metal at the bottom of the carburetor, which is where the water is going to sit. So that tells me I just dumped a bunch of water in my plow truck. But that thing's TBI, throttle body injected, so it's a 1994 S10 pickup. The 4.3 old school throttle body. Reliable as a stone axe, you just can't go wrong with it. So I'm just taking that pin out. We're going to get this float out of here. We're going to put this somewhere where it's not hopefully going to roll off into the abyss. There's a needle. That's what controls your fuel flow. That little needle, this float moves up and down with the fuel, in case you didn't know. So I like to just go through every single passageway. Of course, we got to get this schmegma off of here now. You can see how that etched the aluminum on the tip, you know, the tip of this jet housing that sticks down into that corrosive mess. That's where the Jello was. That Jello is highly corrosive. This is the world we live in. Put crap in fuel and nobody cares. It's all about money. Screws all of us. You see this hose is starting to deteriorate. Probably should change that. But anyways, so I just like to go through and you guys spray all the passageways, and you can learn a lot about carburetors doing that, you know, seeing where the spray comes out, figure out how things work. And, you know, you can't go wrong by blowing out every single passageway. You get the carburetor off, you might as well find every little single tiny passageway and blast some either air or brake clean through it to clean it out. I have to blow this out and take a peek at the jets. On some carburetors, you want to be careful. You don't want to blow through backwards because some of them have seals inside there, and you'll blow them out into another dimension. You'll never find them. And that will ruin your day, because if you don't see that and you put it back together, as soon as you pour gas in it, it's just going to dump it right into the engine. You have to change the oil that you probably just changed. It's going to be a big mess. Gas everywhere. It's not a lot of fun. And then you got to order the part, wait forever for it to come in, if they even have it. It's the world we live in today. But anyway, like I was saying, kind of got sidetracked here. I'm just going to keep cleaning all this stuff piece by piece as I yap. But yeah, I just got burned out. I got burned out of doing what I'm doing here, you know. I mean, this lawnmowers, I don't mind. It's the automotive stuff that really burned me out. I didn't realize how good we had it back in the friggin' 80s and 90s. Cars were so easy. They were just as easy to work on as these, you know. They were starting to get a little complicated in the 80s. You know, fuel injection was just starting to come out in the middle part of the 80s, early to mid part. It was getting a little more complex, but those early fuel injection systems were so reliable. I mean, a lot of it, you really didn't have to do a whole lot to it. And if you did, it was really straightforward and easy, you know. These days, it's, you know, I had to put an oil pressure sensor in my Silverado. I still haven't posted that video yet. I shot a video on it. Haven't had time to go through the footage, but it's not very long. But because I didn't film the whole thing, it was just complete and utter frustration. What kind of a jerk engineers something that takes that much effort to get out of there, and it's an item that's going to fail. You know it's going to fail. Why would you do that? You know, they put this big piece of metal right up against the firewall. It's stuff like that. I'm just sick and tired of it. You know, it was nice in the old days when you could fix stuff with a screwdriver and a carburetor. I mean, a screwdriver and a pair of pliers. You know, you had a simple carburetor and simple ignition system. Everything was easy, you know. It's frustrating for me today to work on modern stuff. And you know, you have good days and bad days. Some vehicles, you know, you find something real quick and you make decent money off it. And then other times you get screwed, royally screwed. You know, you spend hours and hours and hours researching, trying to find info. And I don't have service info. I don't pay for it because I can't justify it because I got my hands in everything. I'm doing small engines. I'm doing automotive. So I can't justify $200 a month. And I'd be lucky if I have to use a wiring diagram once every 2 months, even when I was super busy, you know. So it just wasn't, like, most of my stuff was just brake jobs and shocks and, you know, water pumps and occasional electrical diagnosis. 9 times out of 10 I could find it just doing a visual inspection. But for those rare occasions that I needed a wiring diagram, I couldn't justify spending $200 a month, you know, and I could go that whole month and not do a single electrical diagnostic, you know. So it just made it tough a lot of times, a lot harder to get things fixed when you don't have service info, because now you don't know where components are. And the way they build these friggin' cars nowadays, they could be anywhere, you know. They hide stuff in the most ridiculous places. It's insanity. I hate it. I hate modern cars, hate working on them, and it just came to a head. I had my buddy's 96 Tahoe in here, which ironically was what got me into OBD2 and wanting to learn it. And that same vehicle also kicked my ass and got me out of it. So it's kind of ironic. But that thing mopped the floor with me. It had a bad ignition control module, but it just happened to go bad while I was swapping the distributor. So that's how we went down this rabbit hole of friggin' nightmares, you know. I'm like, I'm just doing a distributor swap. You know, now you do that and it doesn't run, so you think you got the timing off. You stabbed it wrong. And that's not the case at all. It's friggin' some other magic box friggin' just happened to fail while you happen to be in there. You know, it's just an unfortunate set of events for me. I replaced the crank position sensor, replaced a few other parts, and oh man, it was a nightmare. It was here for a month, and it was while I was pulling my hair out over that I got a phone call from a friend of a job opening for a maintenance position. So I took it. You know, I'm like, I'm done with this. I can't do it anymore. You know, I'm at that age where I just can't be out here swearing all day long. It's not good for you. Be pissed off and stressed out all day long, number one. And of course, I didn't have any retirement. I had nothing saved, so it's good to have a 401k and, you know, all the other benefits and vacations, getting paid to go on vacation instead of just saving money and then going, you know. But I'm on vacation right now. This is what I'm doing. I've been working the whole time, but it's nice, you know. It's nice to have all the benefits, and then on the side you can make a month's pay in 1 week, you know. Anyway, yeah. So I'm just burnt. I'm burnt. To be honest with you, I didn't even really want to do this, but this guy's a good guy, and he's always been good to me. So doing him a big favor here. I got a lawn that's 3 feet tall. I got to mow. So anyway, the gas evaporated, so now you can see exactly what's left behind. It's just watery crap. It's all grit. It's all gritty. Ugh. Yeah, it smells awful too. Yeah, slime, like mixture of ethanol, water, and whatever chemicals are in gasoline today. It's probably not too good for you. We're going to put this thing back together. One thing I forgot to do because I'm a little rusty is I should have marked which direction this drain faces in relation to the carburetor. Big end is always the intake, little end goes to the engine, so I would imagine I would probably have it like this. You just want to think about stuff like that, so at the end of the season, the owner can get to that screw and drain the fuel instead of leaving it in here and drain his gas tank, and then this won't happen next year. That's how that works. Okay, so this goes towards the engine. Does it? I guess I would want it to come out this direction. Straight back. This is a pretty easy carburetor to work on. There isn't a whole lot to it. I probably should have, you know, I'm going to take that jet out of there. When you do stuff quick, it usually doesn't have a good result. It's always better to take the time and do it right, you know. See if I can get this jet out of here without destroying it. I don't know what happened to my screwdriver I used to have for doing this. It's very small. Oh boy, we might not be able to get this out of here. Okay, I found it. It's the one I ground down so it fits perfectly in here and still has enough real estate to not completely butcher the jet. I still don't know if I'm going to be able to get this out of here. Oh, I think it's moving. Yep, good deal. Sometimes these main jets, this is the jet that controls the fueling for, on a lawnmower, everything. On something that you can control the throttle on, like a motorcycle, this would be like the high-speed circuit in the carburetor, from maybe 3/4 throttle to wide open. And then you'll have other circuits in a motorcycle carburetor for all the different loads and RPMs and stuff. But on a mower, it's pretty simple. You got one main jet, and that's that. Let's see if I can get this thing to come out of here. There she is. And sometimes there's an emulsion tube. See, now I can hold this jet up to the light. See if there's anything in there. Yeah, sometimes there's a removable emulsion tube down inside, and there'll be a bunch of air bleeds all around that. And if a lot of guys will just clean the main jet and not bother with that, and on motorcycles and stuff like that, and then the bike will still run like crap, and it's because you didn't take that emulsion tube out and clean it. This one here doesn't look like it even has one. It's just a simple lawnmower carburetor. I'm trying to see if there's something I can push out of there if it's going to be more trouble than it's worth. I can see something in there. I can try to move it. We'll see what it does. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. If I can get this out of there, I can clean that. Oh no, it comes out pretty easy. See if we can get that to come out of there. There's not a lot of space in there, and got to get something in there to kind of shove it down. I need a 90-degree pick, and I can't seem to find it. My good dental pick is down behind the engine of my Silverado, never to be found again. Stupid thing. So mad. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's a perfect emulsion tube. See, I'm glad I took that out. I just lost the arm for that stupid choke mechanism there. We'll deal with that in a minute. Yeah, you see all the corrosion on the tip of that emulsion tube. See all the little bleed holes? There's really no good way of doing this on camera. You can kind of see it on camera there. There you go. Yeah, you want to see light through all those. And if you don't, you want to run a wire very carefully through there. You don't want to enlarge those holes. They're very, very precisely manufactured for a reason. And they need to be that size or it's not going to work. Let me just hold this up to the sunlight here. Yeah, I kind of did that for nothing, but it's I'm just going to blow this out real quick. But better safe than sorry, you know. Had I not done it, it would have been clogged. And you know, then you got to do it twice. Nothing worse than doing something twice, in my opinion, because I do it a lot. Try to save time, and ends up biting you right in the ass. Hate that. This thing coming through here, I don't seem to see it. Oh, it is. Explains why I wasn't moving. Yeah, always clean your tools off each time you're doing carb work. You want everything clean, clean, clean. Cleaner the better. The cleaner you keep it, the more successful you're going to be. Now let's go back to this. I guess I put my flashlight away. That's the engine side. I'm going to put the axis kind of diagonally towards the front. That always seems to be a good place to have it for access. Okay. Alright, so this will put this ridiculous fuel tank back on here. Put that hose back on. Feed these back through. Oh, this little thing came unglued. That's not where you go. Go down here. There you go. This thing wants to battle me. Oh, you little piece of crap. What a stupid clip this is. It's actually two-piece. But once it comes out of the hole, it falls apart. Alright. I guess that fuel hose went here. Flying blind, I can't see what I'm doing. I get that cleaned up. Just occurred to me that recon that's written there, that means reconditioned. See, this is what I hate about this extra complexity that you don't usually have. You get this stupid thing. Now I can't find the arm. Here's the arm. Freaking stupid. Just pull a freaking choke. How hard is it to pull a choke? You know? It's got to be for an emissions reason. They don't think we're capable enough to operate a choke, apparently. Okay, so this is going to go. It's going to go hooked down like that, I think. Unless I have it backwards. We'll find out, I guess. And that was battery number 3 for this 20-minute video, or however long it's going to be. Oh, my Lord. Pain in the ass. I'm just going to blow all this filter crap out. Almost forgot I was making a video here. So get all that cleaned out. Oh, little spider. A lot of the times when you see foam, foam usually gets oiled, but not when it's up against paper element like this. Do not oil it, because it'll just wick into the paper and destroy it. Kind of defeat the purpose of filtration, you know. Let's put this hose back on here. Now we probably want to put these hoses back on the carburetor. That would be beneficial. I don't remember where this went. Oh yeah, this was that weird hose on the back of the air box here. Little half-ass evap system. Put that spring clip. I don't know if that's just the way they recondition things and just leave stuff not put back together right. I don't know. You never know these days. Things are going downhill pretty quick. That's gonna be fun. I gotta get a magnet. You know, a magnet on a stick was invented by a mechanic, because this is ingenious. It's like an extra set of hands that you never had. You'll probably end up changing that filter. I don't have time to go running around for parts. A million other things going on here, so you'll probably end up doing that. But that definitely should be replaced. But it's working. So. All right. Last step, get some gas in this thing. Moment of truth. Oh. So that vent, I thought it came out on the side right where the nipple is. It actually goes into a channel, comes out right at the very top. So it is a kind of a half-assed evap system. It vents right into this area of the cap where there'll never be gas unless you completely overflow it. Actually, you can't, because it'll flow out here. It's at the top part of the cap. Now I get it. Evap. ridiculousness of the 21st century. You'd really think that just this one country on the planet is going to make all the difference capturing fumes from our gasoline when the rest of the world doesn't do anything, excluding Europe, of course. But I digress. Which one am I supposed to be pulling? That goes to the wheels. That goes to where it's supposed to go. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Make sure it restarts. Smells funny. Must have been some residual crap in the crankcase and in the combustion chamber, I guess. But we're going to change the oil once we get this thing warmed up anyway. Some of you guys that work on these things, you might have heard that it's running rich. I could tell immediately. And on that restart, that confirmed it because it shot black. I don't know if the camera picked up on that. It shot black smoke for a little bit. That's that stupid choke system. It's needs a little tweaking. So we're gonna pull this back off again here. We're not gonna pull the whole carburetor off again, but we are going to remove that air cleaner. I don't know if you guys picked up on that, but I'm a bonehead. I screwed up. that's where that's supposed to go. It's supposed to go through there, not around the outside. I don't know what the hell I was thinking there. That's the freaking camera concentrating on filming and not what I'm doing. But yeah, so that shaft goes through that little grommet there, and then you press this back on. So I got this all set. You can see the exhaust is hot right now, choke's wide open, so it's not engaged, it's holding itself open. That's a good thing right now when it's hot. And then this little vacuum thing, not 100% sure. Like I said, it probably affects it when it's hot. It might be a secondary thing to keep it open. But yeah, that black smoke is what they're trying to avoid. Black smoke is raw fuel. That means you either got weak spark or you got too much fuel, one or the other. That's unburnt fuel going straight out the exhaust. So that's a big deal today. Careful. There's a lot of truth to the saying, you gotta slow down to go fast. Take your time and pay attention to stuff, and stuff like that won't happen. Let's see if it runs a little better now. I'll try this again. It's still a little black smoke when it fires up. That might just be that vacuum thing choking it off while it's hot. Just want to see if it starts any better than it did. Runs decent. It still shoots black smoke out when it starts, but that's, you know, that's a stupid design. Why even do that, you know? Ironically, they do stuff like that to try to save emissions, and in the end, it always causes more emissions. Like the diesel trucks with the regeneration and the urea and all that stupid stuff. You'll see trucks going down the road belching smoke out because it's trying to regen and the system's screwed up. It's dumping fuel in, so you're wasting diesel. Oh, God, this world, I'm telling you. Crazy town. Common sense is not so common anymore, I'm telling you. But I could rant about that all day. The mower runs. So that's a good thing. We're going to ship this one. We're going to give it a good cleaning, and we'll see on the next one, whenever that is. Uh-oh, we tipped over. Yeah, I had to show this. Man, there's a lot of metal in that friggin' oil. See if I can get a light in here. See all the little patterns in the oil? That's all metal. This oil hasn't been changed in a long time. And this is another stupid thing. The way there's no more drain plugs on these things. Well, it probably is, but this seems to be the preferred way of draining them now. And you got no fuel shut off on the gas, so every time you tip it, you flood the engine out. So that's fun. But I'm going to go ahead and give her some AMS oil. I'll run this and everything. AMS oil, small engine oil, 10W30. It's a good weight. Seems to work in most equipment. I've run it in snow blowers and had no problems. So it's good enough to do that. But I guess now I think they got a 530, which would be better for a snow blower. And they also have a 1040 small engine oil now that for certain brands that require a 1040.